member of the mushroom family, this fungus, is for the moment known only as X. It was discovered barely weeks ago growing in a remote rainforest. Science has not yet given it a name, for science knows scarcely anything about it. But it is felt that X might have one remarkable quality, that it stimulates extrasensory perception, enabling the mind to become telepathic and clairvoyant. Now, that's a rather large claim. Is it true or false? The answer to that question took us on a unique and distant journey. We're in Mexico, thousands of miles from our Hollywood sound stages in a place called Mitla, on the very edge of civilization. There are no actors, there's no script. For this psychic report can only be recorded at the moment it happens. Here in the plaza of the kings of Zapotec, here in the antiquity of Mexico, we begin a search whose ending, at this very moment of filming, we do not know. We are searching for something far older than these ruins, which, if found, could hurtle ordinary man infinitely beyond his five senses. And now the first step beyond. The first step is a faltering one. We wait day after day for perfect flying weather, for the only way to reach our goal, the inaccessible village of Juquila, is by light plane over trackless mountains. Has he come back yet?
No.
Well, keep your fingers crossed. This lovely hacienda at the foot of the Dombak Mountains has been here a little longer than we have, but not much. From here, weather permitting, our chartered plane will fly us to a remote mountain village to look for, of all things, a mushroom. But a very strange mushroom indeed, with powers beyond belief. And here are the mushroom hunters, as improbable a group as you will find anywhere. For instance, this is Dr. Barbara Brown, brilliant neuropharmacologist of the University of California at Los Angeles. With her is David Gray, one of the last kahunas of Hawaii, a spiritual leader whose line goes back 900 years, and whose quest for knowledge beyond the world of materialism has led him everywhere in the world. And now here, and here, with friend, is Jeffrey Smith, a distinguished professor of philosophy and humanities at Stanford University. And now, and mighty important, is our translator, William Upson, a missionary who has lived among the people of our remote village for the last 9 years, and the only man in the world who speaks their language.
The pilot says he'll be ready soon, John.
And last, our forever optimistic, Dr. Andrei Puharish, who wrote the astounding book, The Sacred Mushroom. Dr. Puharish's book brought us here in the first place, and in it, he explains how the mushroom seems to have an incredible effect on the power of extrasensory perception.
Incredible is the word. We're here for some very specific purposes. We want to know why these people here in Mexico have kept this right so secret for so many centuries. But I would say that our prime mission is to explore and examine the biochemicals present in these new mushrooms and find out if they can be of any benefit in this problem of mental disease.
What Dr. Puharish hasn't told you, it is not all as simple as it sounds. The last time he was here, looking for the mushroom, a man was shot.
And shot at.
And another man was driven out of his mind.
For a while.
El piloto dice que ya. In English, dice que ya means the pilot said, now. The shadows of our two small planes fall on rainforests which hide villages where the 20th century does not exist. And that's the landing strip, chopped by hand out of a mountainside, so that missionaries can bring the word of God to this lost world. As we approach, The pilot warns us to grab hold of something and hang on. A sudden gust of wind could smash us against the mountain or plunge us into the abyss below. At last, we are in the village of Hukila, slogging through mud. Each of us with an odd sense that all the clocks have stopped ticking. We've brought television cameras to people who've never even heard of radio, who've never seen a telephone, an electric light, who've never heard of aspirin, let alone penicillin. But perhaps the sacred mushroom has given them a psychic insight far beyond our deepest explorations. Secret arrangements are made, and we are guided to this hidden place to wait. But it is almost midnight before the Brujo appears. He has practiced the secret and all but forbidden rites of the sacred mushroom for decades. Rites passed on from father to son for perhaps 4,000 years. But of course he has never performed before such an audience or a camera. Our scientists have prepared test questions to evaluate the Brujo's extrasensory perception. But he insists on one condition. To achieve spiritual union, they also must eat the mushroom. However, in the interest of detached scientific observation, he agrees that Dr. Brown does not have to take the mushroom. The rites begin. A strangely aromatic root is burned. Inhaled. The Brujo murmurs incantations in Chitina, a language unknown anywhere else on this earth. As our group waits for the mushroom to take effect, Bill Upson questions the Brujo. Because of the circumstances, the sound is, of course, far from perfect.
I just asked him when we would see something, when something would happen. And he held up his hand to indicate that he didn't want to talk at this particular time.
And then silence again as we wait. And then, oddly enough, the first sound we hear as the chemical in the mushroom takes effect is laughter. The Brujo has just told of an amusing moment from Bill's childhood in Indiana. Indiana, a place the Brujo does not even know exists. Now, each of the group tests the extrasensory powers of the Brujo. Sometimes he is accurate, sometimes he is not.
Well, brighten the eyes. The whole rabbit will brighten the eyes. It's perfect.
This means clairvoyance, right? Clairvoyance.
The following is one moment when he is startlingly correct. Suddenly he turns to Dr. Brown, whom of course he has never seen or heard of before.
Very good.
No, but I had to eat it. To eat my butt.
You're still sick.
You're
You're sick in the chest. Your heart. Your heart is sick.
Can you ask more specific? No, let's try to get a picture.
Heart rate slow.
Without a moment's hesitation, he has accurately diagnosed a personal illness that only Dr. Brown knows about. Our next experience with the Brujo and the sacred mushroom comes quickly and unexpectedly. And this time it has nothing to do with scientific investigation. Since it is now common knowledge that we have already witnessed the rite, we are allowed to come along to see a second priest at work, a man named Macedonia, who agreed to take the mushroom and listen to the villagers' problem.
He said his burro was stolen, and he wants to know where to find it.
In this village of Hukila, the theft of a burro, a man's most important possession, his donkey, is second only to murder.
He said 3 men are involved.
Macedonia hardly paused a moment before he named the thieves.
Gustavo said he was going to take the 3 of them to jail tomorrow. But Don Macedonia warned him not to go near the house of Juan and Pedro because they would kill him, but to look for it in the house of Jose.
We go with the villager through a valley, across fields, past other villages to the exact spot where Macedonia said the burro would be. And here indeed it is. Its identifying brand clearly marked on the burro's flank. Now perhaps we can understand, more or less, why for 4,000 years, and from one civilization to the next, the sacred mushroom has endured. We have been given a practical demonstration of how it works in the daily lives of this primitive people.